So, let's not waste any more time with reviewing, nothing time and the Doctor's... this episode, if you saw my review or the armistice scene, the scene with the Christmas armistice is amazing. It's really great. And Murray-Gold's one last trip. But the worst thing about this story is the worst point, and also the story ends of that season. But you've just done the complete opposite of what Doctor is supposed to do. You've done the complete opposite. But yeah, Twice Upon a Time completely misinterpreting. And I enjoy Series 10, as we're about to find out in the next couple of spots. But despite that, because of this story, well, I'm kind of glad I'm jumping into the first third. Because after this one, I need something a bit... But first I need to finish... Okay, moving on to number 12. Now things... Shut up! Now for me, the lie of the land stands... Shit. Now for me, the lie of the land stands... Stop saying stand! Now for me, the lie of the land starts out really well. And I had to do that emphasis on the start because I kept doing stand. It's a bit of a, unfortunately, and it was a bit unnecessary. And the ending feels like it was, I don't know, and it's the weakest of the episodes in the series, but taking out the Christmas. And we're not done with the Monk trilogy being this low on the list just yet, as number 12 that was number 12. And we're not done, it's also odd that this trilogy just kind of crops up halfway through the series, just because. But I'm prepared to let that go. It's not a huge issue. It's just whatever. It's just what Stephen Moffat wanted to do. But it's just what Stephen Moffat wanted to do. And it is the start. It is not a great start to, and as Light of the Land showed, this series, even though Hellbent wasn't a bad. Now I do prefer. But first, cut. Including, which is probably going to be my most controversial pick. Including what is going to be one of my more including what is going to be one more left field, surprising, So, Eaters of Light, and I was actually a bit surprised when I quickly checked my original ranking for this before I listed it all up. Light of the Land, I thought and I do think this. To be honest, the series finale and also Twice Upon a Time would overshadow any story. Look at Bad Wolf Parting Ways, that overshadows Boomtown. Army of Ghost Doomsday, that kind of overshadows Fear Her, not to mention that story's reputation. And Love and Monsters before that is right after a great two-parter and Love and Monsters, the story before that, is in a similar spot. Actually, cut that. And as mentioned at the time, Frank Cottrell Boyce more than makes up for his issues with... Frank Cottrell Boyce more than makes up for not making a... The Doctor's also using his sonic screwdriver the most in this episode as across... but it was really that climax that let it down. It could even been a potential 9 or... not only could it have been a 9 out of 10, but it could easily have been a potential 10 out of 10. Nevertheless, it is part of this story that does feel like it's there should have been more to set up, or we've got enough set up. But on its own, it is a pretty good episode. It's another, unless like with the Zygon, his last as it could still be. And I also think, as well as playing, and also think he's good at writing and playing stiff upper lip British characters from the Victorian and early 20th century ages. In this time around, it's playing. This time around, it's writing them. In Twice Upon a Time, it was playing them. I think it's even better than some of the later. Actually, I think it's better than half of the Russell T Davies Christmas specials, but it's also better than all of the other Moffat ones. I mean, it might even be the only Moffat story. It might even be the only Moffat Christmas special that's even as good as the at least. In fact, I think it's the only Moffat Christmas special that's even in league with the RTD ones. The other ones kind of just miss out. Even Time of the Doctor, which I think if it had ironed out some kinks and gotten rid of some of the stupid additions that Moffat added, and maybe even made it a little bit longer, perhaps that one could also have been in league, but it kind of just misses it, in my opinion. But and another again, and like I think the villains should, which is a massive shame, which is a massive shame. They at least did stuff to make me think, yeah, they're pretty. He's just a human villain, which is fine, but he could have been a pretty great guy. Heck, could have even have been the Master. Okay, maybe not the Miss. Heck, he could have been an evil Time Lord. Maybe not the Master, unless you had the reoccurring Master. But maybe the Meddling Monk, or or maybe just, or at the very least. And I'm doing this for my own evil game. And I'm just doing this for my own personal gain. So, but I'm fine with the. And when I say you don't need everything explained, well, this is one of the things. And yeah, it's just a great. And this is of course the Jamie Matheson amazing, and this is of course the Jamie. But once he's after taking care of the Doctor and ultimately he had a great. And as we live in a democracy, it's free to say that. I mean, it's no, but you'll find out what. I wouldn't say that with spoiler alert, his 4. So yeah, he writes 11 of the episodes of this. So he writes 11 of the best 4, and he managed to write one of, if not, and it's fighting with last series' Heaven Sent as one of the best episodes of the 12th Doctor's era. In fact, the two together to make the best story, the best single story. But if this was going to be the end as initially planned, then it would have been probably the best one. Yeah, actually, I think it would have been the best regenerate. But if this was going to be the best regeneration story, or the best, if this was going to be the best, sorry, if this was going to be the final 12th Doctor story as planned, then I think it could even have been the best finale story to a Doctor's era. It's this or Case of Androzani. But ultimately this one didn't, and we got Twice Upon a Time instead, which is the worst after Time the Rani, unless I put The Brink of Death as the 6th Doctor's final story in that one's place, and then in this case, this one is the weakest, and Brink of Death is a lot further up, and Case of Ran, and actually no, I forgot Bad Wolf Passing the Ways is actually the best. No, I'll do that again. But Bound like Day of the Doctor, and when taking out time. But as the actual end number 9, The Eaters of Light. And if it's not her last, well, hopefully still her best until it is. Well, loving Bill played by Pearl. Loving Michelle Gomez as Missy. Well, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. But yeah, but I still enjoy. I still like Series 10. I thought it was a fine. But we've got one more 12th Doctor video to do before we move. Again, like I said, I just want to get away from Twice Upon a Time, so I'm actually looking from late 2018 to from autumn 2018 and when. It'll be interesting to see how that series has. So yeah, but that's next. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye. this for this series 10 ranking. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne bonus content YouTube channel.